Right, we're recording. Okay, cool. Hiya, Gareth. I'm joined today by Gareth Jones from Easthams Solicitors in Blackpool. That is a fake background picture of Blackpool this time, guarantee. But yeah, Gareth, we're going to do an interview today on sort of how COVID's impacted the business and all that kind of stuff. So first of all, would you mind giving us a little bit of background to the firm?
Yeah, sure, Alex. So the firm, we've been in Blackpool for about 25 years now. We employ about 40 staff. Our business is primarily a personal injury business. We probably half of that is RTA. Probably the other half is ELPL as that grows, coming towards the whiplash reforms in April next year. The remainder of our business, we have a successful conveyancing side to the business, which does a lot of residential, a lot of commercial stuff in Blackpool. And then we've got bits of wills, probate, lasting powers of attorney. Yeah, so that's our business.
Okay, and so obviously we're talking a little bit today about sort of COVID and how it impacted. So what were things like pre-lockdown? You presumably had everybody in the office and working on site?
Yeah, I think we're sort of a traditional practice. Yeah, everybody was in the office. We're fortunate here that we're in quite a large building with lots of floor space for everybody. But yeah, everybody works in the office. There was occasional days where people could work from home if they needed to. But yeah, our business, we were strong. We were working towards the whiplash reforms again and looking to adapt our business, continuing to look at efficiencies to make us look more effective as a company. But yeah, the world seemed a better place.
Didn't it just? Absolutely. And so did you, when the lockdown came, did you send people to work from home? And if so, kind of how easy was that to organise?
So there was obviously talk prior to March 23rd that the lockdown was coming. We'd spent quite a bit of money on our IT last year. We've always invested in the IT side of it. So like I said, we've always had people working from home. So the computers weren't an issue for us. We were able to sort that out quite quickly. Our phone system, however, was from at least the 1990s. I think actually Noah had used it on the Ark.
Was it like two cups with pieces of string?
It was indeed, yeah, the yogurt pots and the string. So that was the bit that we had to work on, and we got that in place prior to lockdown. We had it tested prior to lockdown. I think as our general feeling now, looking back, is probably we were 1 week short from testing. We'd had some people working from home and testing systems, and that was all fine, but we hadn't tested with everybody. Is that we wanted to do a sort of a mock everybody work from home day, and we didn't quite get to that point. But thankfully, we've been in a better position than most. You know, I was talking to a solicitor the other day who talks about receiving paper files daily via van. You know, and it's incredible, really, and it's incredible to think that that's still going on these days. You know, we're a smallish firm in Blackpool, and we've been digital for a number of years now. So I find it incredible that some firms are still working with paper, but my heart goes out to them at the moment, and I don't know how they're coping. But
that must be a nightmare, mustn't it? Absolutely.
Yeah,
nightmare.
I think from our point of view and talking, I think we were capable of sorting ourselves out. What we've seen the impact is more from the courts, the insurance companies, and sort of the bigger outfits who seem to have really struggled to get their infrastructure sorted and the communication right.
Yeah, we've seen that. We've absolutely seen that across some of our client base, but also some of our, the prospects we're getting. The sort of new inquiries are from very big firms saying, look, help us because we don't know quite how to get efficient and to set things up remotely and what have you. Did you face? I mean, obviously, partly with the PI bit, but even more so with the property and conveyancing bit. Did you face any kind of major specific security issues while trying to get everybody working from home, or again, were you kind of pretty well organised for that?
Yeah, we'd like to think we're pretty well organised with that. We've done Cyber Essentials Plus for a couple of years now, so we take that side of it really quite seriously, and so that means our systems have been actually tested by an outside auditor. So we're happy on the security side of things. What we did do was add the two-factor authentication to our systems, so anybody accessing our servers remotely, you had to use your phone for the factor. So that was something we added, and other than that, it was just to sort of reiterate our IT policy to our guys. We didn't feel that there was any sort of security issues that we had to address.
And so obviously when things got a little bit easier, a few months back, and they eased lockdown the first time.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know whether we'll be saying this again in four lockdowns time or whatever. But did you see then? Because obviously, I think you were saying your work kind of stood up reasonably well. But did you see kind of an uptick in work once lockdown eased?
So our work dropped off from a PI side of things. Our work dropped off by about 40% through March and April. Clearly, less cars on the road, less people in work. So we saw that, but beyond April, you know, May onwards we're just in such an upsurge in claims. I guess personal injury work's a little bit recession proof in that if you're unsure whether to make a claim, clearly you're going to if you need that little bit of extra money. So yeah, we've seen that. Conveyancing as well. Again, the market just came to a grinding halt, didn't it, during March and April? But since then, it's gone crazy. You know, we are so busy. We're worried about the service that we're providing with clients. That's key to us.
Isn't it?
We have to maintain that at all costs. And to be fair to the guys, that they're really working hard to make sure that we do that.
And are they back working normally? Have you brought them back in then now? Or?
So what we've done, when we started lockdown, we probably had about 8 of us in the office, just the admin team effectively. What we'd assessed was, look, we can do all those sort of fee earning work at home, but it was the fundamentals of opening post and checks and the stuff that we have to have somebody physically in the office for. And then we had a couple in just in case the systems went horribly wrong, and when we needed somebody here to be physically here to answer the phones, etc. So that was where we were March, April. But we've had an increase in staff since, both in terms of the conveyancers who we felt we needed to get back in to provide additional support and continue the good service that we provide, but also some of the guys who, particularly the ones who live alone, and we've had sort of the loneliness of looking at the same 4 walls all the time. I think a lot of people are starting to miss the office banter and the nonsense that
even
goes.
Your particularly weak style of banter.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. My dad jokes are legendary. Leave me alone.
And so, like in the sort of medium to long term, what do you think the business will learn, if anything, from COVID, going forward?
Well, what we learn is that we can work from home. We can certainly have our guys work remotely whenever they fancy. We invested in a proper phone system. We had sort of this temporary fix through March, April, May, and we've invested again in our broadband into the building and allowed us to have a new system now. Again, our IT's up to scratch now, so we don't have that sort of Dalek phone call that we all dread, and somebody dropping off the line. That has been critical to the success of our business through the last few months. So yeah, we have people coming from as far as field as Manchester to come and work here. So they, if they're not having to do that an hour and a half, 2 hour commute each way, then it's obviously going to save us. We're seeing then that that people are staying online, working, being that little bit more productive because they're not getting out at 5 o'clock to try and beat the traffic. Yeah, exactly. So that's been good for us, and I think just the other side of it is the human factor of it. That our team have worked really, really hard. I think there's been a degree of, we're grateful that nobody's been furloughed. We've been able to keep all our staff in place and working and fully paid. But I think they've done a great job over the last few months. And a lot of them probably sitting at home, in the onesies all day. Doing the. But,
this is actually a onesie. You can't see it.
Please don't stand up. Or are you?
Charming.
No, I mean, this is it. If it's not affecting their ability to work and their productivity, then let's do it. We don't all have to be sitting in an office. Thankfully, we're in Blackpool and we don't have that commute into one of the biggest city centres. I try to think what Manchester looks like at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. It must be bizarre, mustn't it? And so just to end off, is that if there's one thing, either personally or as a business, you could take from COVID, what would it be? Are you optimistic about where it's all going now?
Yeah, I don't I don't think there's a problem for us as a business. I don't think COVID will affect us negatively going forward. I think we've got a bigger concern with the whiplash reforms in April as to what happens there with our business. So we've been planning for that for a couple of years now. So hopefully that has a minimal impact on us. But the COVID stuff, you know, what we've learned from it, I think, is that as a team we've been able to adapt very, very quickly.
Yeah.
You know, it was sort of, you know, have you looked at that business continuity plan for you know the last 5-6 years, and you go, well, actually no, I've not. But
it works.
when it came to the crunch, we've kicked in, and we've as a management team, as a team across the business, I think we've succeeded, and we've managed to provide the service. And I know we're miles ahead than you know, some of our competitors. So that's been a real positive for us.
Yeah, and that's it, isn't it? I mean, I think having that sort of ability to be agile and mobile. I mean, we had a disaster recovery plan. I don't think it was envisaged that a global pandemic would trigger it. But,
no.
I read something the other day, somebody saying that, you know, that question you get asked at interview, where do you see yourself in 5 years? Anybody who answered that 5 years ago, every single person got it wrong. Because there was no way you could see this coming, really.
It'd been the same person that bet on Leicester to win the Premiership, wouldn't it? You know, it's
probably, mate. Listen, thank you so much for that. It's been really interesting.
It was a pleasure.
You know, we'll hopefully meet up again when things get a little bit better. I need some wings and beer in Preston.
Good stuff. It sounds good. Yeah, I'll go easy on the wings next time. I've got a bit of COVID weight to lose.
All right, mate. Thanks very much.
All right, take it easy. Nice to see you.
Cheers.
Bye now.